numbers could have been a whole lot more, and the casualties could have been a whole lot higher. But when you see the rooftops pulled off of houses and people were in there sitting down for dinner, you need to recognize how lucky we are.
It took out that whole top room and the dining room as well. And if someone was home, it could have been a lot worse.
I was absolutely blown away. Like at one point I was moved to tears because there were neighbors that came from deep in the neighborhood to help. Like there were so many groups of people coming, just what can I do? What can I do?
So thankful that Kentuckians have remained so weather aware. We didn't have as many people out in the first storm because people were paying attention.
And right now here at 5, more of our team coverage. We're following up the day after yesterday's damaging tornadoes. The good news, still no serious injuries, no deaths to report in either Jeffersonville or Louisville, but hundreds of properties are damaged, and we're learning that at least 7 tornadoes touched down. Hello, everybody. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Shay McAllister. Right now, National Weather Service is surveying multiple different sites, analyzing where tornadoes might have touched down. We know there have been at least 7 confirmed tornadoes in Kentucky and Indiana during yesterday's storms. They ranged from Jeffersonville to Bourbon County. 7 of them have been confirmed as EF1 tornadoes. Tonight, we're bringing you team coverage of the storm recovery and the cleanup. Our crews are in Jeffersonville, Prospect, and Henry County, sharing how these communities are coming together to help one another, picking up the pieces after the storm.
But first, we're going to take you to Prospect, of course, in Metro Louisville, Jefferson County, where winds of up to 105 miles per hour whipped across houses and trees. Our Sky 11 drone capturing this new video this afternoon of the Prospect Hunting Creek area, and you can see debris ripped right off the homes and cast across lawns. We were in the neighborhood last night as neighbors described the moments before the storm. Well, today, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear and Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg got a first-hand look, touring the neighborhoods late this afternoon.
Both Kentucky and Jefferson County have issued a state of emergency that will help with cleanup. Alex Dieterer and photojournalist Addie Hill were with Kentucky leaders just moments ago. Alex, what did they tell you?
Shay, Doug, we're here at the Anchorage Middletown Fire Department right off of Highway 42, where Governor Andy Beshear was just here about an hour and a half ago. He was here in Prospect surveying the damage, and that includes Hunting Creek neighborhood, which was where we were at. Pardon. The fire truck leaving for the town. We were here about 24 hours ago to survey the damage, and this is what we saw last night. I mean, just take a look at this footage. You can just see bits and pieces of houses ripped off of them and strewn about the road. The governor is only reporting 1 fatality from last night's tornadoes as of right now. That fatality was a young man who was driving when the first round of intense rain came through. The governor says right now 12 counties and 7 cities have declared states of emergency, saying right now there are about 15,000 reported power outages. But the governor is hoping and expecting that many of these homes will have their power back up and running by 10 tonight. Neighbors have been out since last night, like we saw, just helping their neighbors. The forestry department has been out cleaning up down trees, and the National Guard has been right here in Prospect. Governor Beshear says he has experienced many tornado events like this in his lifetime, and he says he knows the toll it can take on people.
Natural disasters also cause mental health issues and damages. Now, this is really traumatic. If you've been through it, if you've lost your home, if your backyard looks like some that we've seen, if you had to sit there praying while a tornado came through, we're blessed that you're here, but we understand that mental health is real, and so please reach out if you need that help.
He says call the 988 hotline if you or any of your loved ones need someone to talk to following last night's storm systems. And both the governor and Mayor Greenberg advises everyone to not come to Prospect to try and see the damage for themselves, because many people are still out trying to piece back their neighborhoods. In addition, the fire department will be out surveying the damage in the continuing days, and later on they will have more solidified numbers of how many homes were damaged through these storms. Live in Prospect with photojournalist Addie Hill, Alex Dieterer, WHAS11 on your side.
All right, Alex, thank you very much. Well, the damage in Prospect is significant, with many homes needing immediate repair or inspection.
The Anchorage fire chief at a news conference this morning said 954 Prospect properties are damaged and 5 homes are destroyed there. Jose Alonso and photojournalist Emma Gefter are joining us live now, and he's been there talking all day with residents who live, and lives undoubtedly changed. And Jose, what are they telling you about the recovery process? I know one bit of good news out of that news conference earlier today. The LG&E said they hope to have the power restored by 10 o'clock tonight.
Hey Doug, yeah, that is exactly right. We're hearing from the neighbors around here that they're hoping to get the power on, hopefully at this time. I'm still not seeing any lights on specifically in this area, but people are staying indoors because it's pretty cold out here at this moment. But I want to show you what we've been looking at all day. Take a look over here. This house was part of that impact. Thankfully, its roof is still together, but it is boarded up. There's a bunch of broken window glasses in that area. And if you look at the trees, they're missing branches. And that tree right over there, as you can see, is skewed as well. Looks like it might fall into that car, but hopefully it does not. But we've just been talking to everybody out here about what's been going on in the cleanup efforts. And let's go ahead and take a look at some footage that we're able to capture earlier of some of that cleanup effort in progress. So we were able to capture all these fallen trees and branches being taken together and scrapped together and everything like that. And some of it actually fell onto this car. The person I spoke to earlier, it scratched, it broke a window, and even damaged the side mirror of the car as well. The guy I spoke to, Nadim Main, and his family, they moved to Prospect back in 2009 and said this is the first time he's ever experienced such an aggressive storm. And he went on to tell me how thankful he was that nobody in his community out here was hurt.
I'm lucky that my family is lucky, neighbors are lucky. I mean, there's no physical damage to someone, and that is the human life is the most important thing. But other than that, this is a part of the life you have to deal every day.
Now, Nadim told me that they took shelter in their basement and that he also had to look after his 96-year-old father as well. They had to bring him from the top of the home down to the basement, but thankfully they were able to get the storm to pass through and be safe. Now, he did call some landscapers, as you're looking at this moment, to help clear out all those fallen branches, and he says he's one of the lucky ones whose home was spared, but the neighbors are checking in on each other at this time. And coming back to what we're looking at right now, I mean, the roof of this house is still completely gone. There was a blue tarp on there. It looks like they're trying to nail it down because, again, there are cold winds out here, and it is making it very, very difficult to be out here in this moment. Everyone is inside just trying to stay warm. Some people are still out here walking around, again, checking on each other to make sure they're good. But we're going to be sticking around here, finding out if they did get power back on. And of course, you'll be hearing more from Nadim's story later in the show. Reporting live in Prospect, I'm Jose Alonso for WHAS11, on your side.
All right, Jose, thank you so much for that update. We have got an important reminder today for everyone looking to hire help in the cleanup process. Unfortunately, there are scammers out there right now working to take advantage of our community. The mayor made it a special note this morning offering these suggestions. To start with, the very first call should be to your insurance company, and you want to make sure you're following their instructions. Next, research contractors from the area, get more than one estimate. Third, before you agree to work with anyone, double check the Better Business Bureau's website to make sure they're accredited. Also, resist those high-pressure sales tactics. Companies or individuals offering a good deal if you agree right away. You never want to pay up front. And finally, be wary of anyone saying that they're with FEMA. FEMA will never charge for an inspection, and they will always have a badge. And across the river in Jeffersonville, Indiana, also saw an EF1 tornado yesterday. The wind speeds reported as high as 100 miles per hour.
Mayor Mike Moore told us in our live storm coverage that at least 10 people were hurt there, but nobody was seriously injured. WHAS11's Connor Steffen is with photojournalist Jessica Farley. They're in southern Indiana following up on the damage there. Connor, what have you been seeing about the recovery efforts? Did they go into high gear today?
Well, Doug, they did, but, look, we're looking at weeks, not days, but weeks worth of cleanup here in Jeffersonville. We haven't been able to get to the hardest hit areas because of roadblocks, but I'm going to step out of the way, and photojournalist Jessica Farley is going to zoom in on Boulder Creek, one of the hardest hit areas in Jeffersonville. We saw an army of crews working down there earlier. It seems to have subsided with the rounds of rain and wind gusts we've been seeing here in the past hour. However, even as far away as we are, you cannot help but notice immediately the immense amount of damage to this area. In Jeffersonville, Indiana.
We're probably looking at a week to 2 weeks cleanup here.
Look beyond the horizon on I-265.
You can see the destruction back here. It's pretty severe.
And you'll see a swath of hollowed out homes next to flipped over cars and RVs as a sea of crews begin an immense cleanup effort.
To go through this with all this damage, somebody's watching out for us, and I believe it's the man upstairs.
Jeffersonville Mayor Mike Moore says the tornado damaged 80 buildings in total, 4 beyond repair and 30 severely. He also says the storm left 10 people injured.
Nobody dealing with any life-threatening issues.
Moore says he's thankful no one was severely hurt.
But everybody's okay, and that's the most important thing.
Marnie Koptic is just as grateful.
It was just unbelievable.
Take a look at her backyard. The top of this tree line completely sheared off by strong winds. She says neighbors immediately rushed to help her.
And it was like very heartwarming to see a community come together and support each other like that. I was like, wow, this is a good place to be. We're in a great neighborhood.
Still somewhat shocked by the storm, she says neighbors in surrounding areas got hit much worse than she did.
It's just unimaginable. I mean, I feel so lucky. I mean, all of us are so lucky. Our whole neighborhood, nobody was injured.
The National Weather Service confirming an EF1 tornado struck Jeffersonville Tuesday night, with wind speeds reaching more than 100 miles per hour.
You know, you learn a little bit each time you go through something like this, and we were pretty quick to respond.
So we're talking about that quick response time. Mayor Moore is warning anyone who is affected by these storms, while the cleanup process can be somewhat of a whirlwind. Be sure any contractor that comes up to you, that may be from out of state, that may be from here, just make sure you do your due diligence before signing any checkbooks or doing any sort of payment with these contractors. Like we were just talking about earlier, this is a perfect time for people to come scam those who are affected by these storms. We're live in Jeffersonville. Connor Steffen, WHAS11 on your side.
Okay, Connor, thank you. Now, as we said, the National Weather Service has now confirmed at least 7 tornadoes across Kentucky and Indiana. National Weather Service Louisville crews have been surveying the damage to find out exactly what happened. One of the strongest tornadoes hit Henry County, Kentucky.
Meteorologist Christina San Juan's been following along with the National Weather Service today. Christina, what exactly are these crews looking for as they examine the damage?
Yeah, the damage here is extensive, Shay, and of course, as you mentioned, the National Weather Service survey team has been working nonstop. They did 7 counties yesterday. Today, they're on their 4th, and that's exactly where we're standing right now here in Newcastle in Henry County, Kentucky. Now, coming up here in just a bit, I'm going to show you that damage and tell you the very latest from the survey team with the National Weather Service Louisville office.
Okay, thank you very much, Christina. I know you've been in touch with John Gordon from the Weather Service. I've been talking to him today, too, and he said, look, I'm thinking of all the damage, Henry County is going to really turn out to be probably some of the worst we have in the area. He said, you need to get up here and see it, and sure enough, that's what we've been seeing so far.
I'm really curious what they're going to rate that one, because so far it's been an EF0 to EF1. If we had an EF2, it would be where Christina is in Henry County.
So I got a text with Ben Pine this afternoon, and he says National Weather Service says EF1 with 110 miles an hour in Henry County, and EF2 starts at 111 miles an hour.
So just on that border.
So close.
Just on that border. And sometimes when there's not a lot of homes around, it's hard to say which level if it was just over some trees. So it is a very extensive survey that they are doing. Looking forward to seeing the new information coming from Christina.
You saw those tornadoes. We saw them crossing the bridge. Didn't you think we were right in probably EF2, EF3 level? It's amazing that it's right up at that point.
Yeah, EF1, EF2, if it was an EF3, I think that we would have had more extensive damage, more than just some roofs and potentially down to the first floor of homes. Right now on that radar, if you do have some roof damage, we are seeing not only some rain, but some wind gusts up to 20-25 miles per hour. So it is a very windy forecast out there, and it's going to stay windy. So zooming on in closer to Jefferson County, thankfully they're getting a break from that rain over in Prospect. We are seeing a light shower just west of Sellersburg and some sprinkles across Shelby County. However, the most impactful thing I think out there right now, We're gusting up to 41 miles per hour in Paoli here in Jefferson County, almost at 40 at 36. In fact, we're probably gusting at 40 in some spots here off to the west of Louisville. Overnight tonight, we're going to see the temperatures drop, but over the next few hours, rain, sleet, and hail are possible as temperatures hover in the 40s. We did get some reports of some sleet, and tomorrow morning we could have that transition to some light snow showers. I'll talk more about those impacts and walk you through that forecast model coming up. Doug, Shay.
All right.